Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We come to you after Game 1 of the ALDS, and the Yankees fall hard, 10-1 to the Blue Jays, a game they never had a lead in, a game they trailed right from the first inning when Guerrero, who hadn't homered in a month, hits a home run. Kirk hits one, then hits another one later, and the Yankees fall. Now, if you looked at this series realistically and realize that the Yankees, just like the Red Sox series, came into this series with a couple of very big breaks. The Blue Jays don't have Bichette. He's gone for the series. They don't have Bassett for the series. The fact that they don't have Scherzer for the series is that was not a positive for the Blue Jays. I think he's been done anyway. But Bassett's a loss, and he's pitched well against the Yankees. You knew that going in when you looked at the pitching matchups, and you never want to give up Game 1 in any playoff series, no less than ALDS. But you realize that if Toronto didn't win Game 1 in this series, it was very hard to see them being highly competitive in this series the way the matchups stack up for the next 3 innings. Now, Toronto's got a better bullpen. I don't think there's any question about that. And the Yankee bullpen has issues, and Weaver is an enormous one. Right now, you can't bring Weaver into these games. That's all there is to it. I told you all along I did not trust this bullpen. I don't trust any part of the Yankee bullpen. But right now, you've gotten to the point where after 2 straight appearances where he does not retire a batter, and he walks the leadoff batter both times, you cannot go to Weaver right now. That's all there is to it. I think he will go to Weaver again. I just don't know if it'll be in as tight a spot. Next time he might give him a softer spot just to see if he can get his confidence back. But Weaver's not Weaver right now. That's all there is to it. So the bullpen is vulnerable. And there's still some things in the lineup that you're wondering about. But I'm going to be honest with you. I thought the Yankees would win this series. I thought the Yankees would lose Game 1. So I'm not surprised. And like I said, if they won Game 1, I thought you were talking about a commanding, absolutely commanding series for the Yankees, because the next 3 days, you look at the matchups, and I am not expecting Cam Schlittler to, be Tom Seaver again or to be Nolan Ryan again. I'm expecting him to come back to earth. But still, he is an imposing pitcher who has ability. And right now, they don't have a lot to offer in terms of starting pitching. They are going to have to do it by piecing it together, by getting good at bats, by getting the Yankee starters into high pitch counts early, fouling off a lot of pitches. That's going to be a big key for the Blue Jays. Fouling off a lot of pitches, wasting a lot of 2-strike pitches so that you get the pitch counts up. That's going to be the only way that I think they going to be able to compete here in these next couple of days. Fried on the mound in Game 2. Now, if we're sitting here tomorrow and Fried gets beat, we have a whole different discussion. We do not expect that to happen. Now, today's game, the Yankees had their moment, okay? The 6th inning comes, and believe it or not, it was kind of startling because you had a starting pitcher who was completely in control for Toronto. He goes through 5 innings. He throws 50 pitches. He's completely in command. And then he comes out in the 6th inning and runs into trouble right off the bat, but he did make some big pitches in that inning. Volpe, who all of a sudden I just don't hear any yelling about how Volpe shouldn't be in the lineup. It's funny, base hits and doubles off the wall and, nice plays at second base. And all of a sudden, you're not hearing anything about Volpe. I told you a long time ago, Volpe wasn't going to be your issue. Volpe opens with a double. Wells gets a base hit. Grisham gets a walk. Now you're sitting there and you're saying, whoa, 2-0. Here comes Judge with the bases loaded, and the guy's lost the plate. But he made some terrific pitches to Judge, and Judge expanded the zone and went after a bad pitch on 3-2 and struck out. Now, Judge's hit in the postseason, he did get a gift on that one where it should have been an error, and he got an RBI single. That was a joke. Judge doesn't need your largesse. He doesn't need your charity. Um, he has gotten base hits, but he has not imposed his will yet on this series or even the last series. And he had his chance here in the 6th inning to impose his will, and he struck out. Bellinger walks with the bases loaded, and you figure, all right, this guy's in deep. But he had 2 great at bats against Rice. He bothered Rice all day with the splitter. And he got Rice after striking him out twice. He got Rice on a pop up to third, where that's another bad at bat with the bases loaded. And then they go to the pen, and he blows away Stanton. So Judge doesn't do the job. Rice doesn't do the job. Stanton doesn't do the job. And the Yankees then have to wait and see if they can get another go round. And after that, the game gets when you see Blackburn, you know that he's in there either one or two reasons, just to save the arms or to make the other team overconfident, one or the other, okay? Because the ball's going to be ping, 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 and that's exactly what happened. Next thing you know, it's 10-1. It doesn't matter. 3-1, 4-1, 8-1, 9-1, doesn't make any difference at that point. What does matter is I don't trust the bullpen. Right now, Weaver's lost. Right now, a couple of guys in the lineup are not imposing the way they need to be imposing. So there's a couple of question marks, but the Yankees have become very starting pitching strong here in the postseason. They were against the Red Sox. All right, they got freed to match a great performance from Crochet, and they lose that game. Rodon pitches an okay game. And then they get a all-time classic. They have huge. I mean, you're going against guys who are not even in the same area code. If they can get 3 or 4 innings out of these guys, that's all they can ask for. If they can somehow get their hitters, who basically were ice cold till the last 4 days of the season, and you heard coming into the series today, if you watched the pregame, about how cold Guerrero was, and then Guerrero warmed up today. Got a home run, got a base hit his second time up, made a nice play on the McMahon ball, got a double play, then got a sac fly late. I'm surprised he didn't put that one in the seats, to be honest with you, but he did get a sac fly. It wasn't a great performance by him there because, I mean, with that pitch coming like that, I thought he might hit it over the fence. It didn't matter at that point. It really didn't. Am I alarmed that they lose today? No. Am I surprised that they lose today? No. Does it give me a different viewpoint of the series where I go from thinking the Yankees are going to win to they're not going to win? No. But I'll tell you this. Toronto is banged up. When you lose Bichette, that's an enormous loss. When you lose Baffert, that's a big loss. Plus, this team wasn't playing great. Was not playing great in the second half of the season, in the last 3 weeks of the season, after having an incredible hot streak. Okay. They were 8 games behind the Yankees. Then next thing you know, they're 5 games in front of the Yankees, and then they're sliding again, and then they get hot the last couple of days, and they hold the Yankees off with 4 straight wins. They're not a great team. The Yankees are better than they are. But they have some guys who they got a lineup that's pesky. They do hit the ball. They're a little different. They're not going to hit a lot of home runs, but today they did hit 3. Yankees haven't hit a lot of home runs in the postseason so far. Eventually, I think the Yankee home runs will come, but again, that usually comes against really bad pitching. That's when they pound the baseball and hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's usually the way they bully bad pitching. They're going to see some bad pitching at some point in this series. I think they will survive this series, but I've told you all along that I don't have an incredible amount of faith in this team overall. I would the Yankees can beat anybody that's in the American League playoffs, but I don't think that they're a great team by any stretch or an overpowering team. I think they're a team that if they lost, I would not be surprised. Has their starting pitching stepped up? Yes. Now, the Yankees went into the postseason not feeling very good about Heel, and today I think they feel worse about Heel. I think they're going to basically say, we're going to have 3 starters, and then we're going to pick our spots from there. We're just going to pick our spots, how we handle things. We got 3 bona fide starters, and they feel now that they have 3 big-time starters because they now are ready to elevate Cam off that performance. And again, you cannot expect that every time out, folks. That was one of the great postseason performances ever. I mean, that's not going to happen, but he doesn't have to be that good. This series, the Yankees have gotten a couple of big breaks again with injuries, just like they did in the Red Sox series. I mean, the Red Sox didn't have Giolito. They didn't have Roman Anthony. Those are big losses. They don't have Bichette. They don't have Bassett. Those are big losses. You got to take that into account. Do I expect a good performance from Fried? I do. Do I think he's going to go out and throw a 1-run game for 7 innings? I don't know. Against that lineup, maybe not. But I don't see how they hold the Yankees down for any length of time with the pitching they're going to present here. They're putting just huge question marks on the mound to start the next 2 games. They know that. Everybody knows that. That's why the Yankees were a heavy favorite to win the series. The Yankees became an 8-5 favorite to win the series when they heard where Toronto was in terms of, first of all, the Yankees finished the season stronger. Secondly, the Yankees are healthier. And then Schlittler's performance, elevated them because now you're looking at Fried, you're looking at Rodon, now you're looking at what Cam did, and you're saying, wow, they got 3 of those guys. And it looked like Judge was over his funk. Now, is he dominating the way he did? No. Is he getting on base? Yes. Has he hit the ball hard a couple of times? Yeah. Has he hit the ball in the air hard or long distance hard? No. Has he broken up any games yet? No, he hasn't. You expecting something special in that at bat? I didn't know. I didn't know. He has not broken through yet in that big spot. That still remains. And until it happens, it hasn't happened yet. That's all there is to it. And Stanton, although he did hit that ball the other night off early that hit the wall, he has not, done what he did last year where you couldn't get him out. I always go on the same premise. And when you're dealing with shorter series, you can multiply that. Anytime you lose a game in the postseason, you have to step back and rebound the next day. 2 losses in a row are extremely hazardous to your health in the postseason at any moment. So anytime you lose, the idea is to respond quickly the next day. They have the matchup. Momentum is always tomorrow's starting pitcher. You have the guy you want on the mound tomorrow. He's been great of late. He was great in game 1. There's no reason to believe he won't give you a really good 6 to 7 innings tomorrow. But I'll tell you this. I don't love this pen. And now with Weaver's problems, it's an issue. Do I trust Cruz in a big spot? No. I don't trust any of them in a big spot. There's no reliever they have that I feel overly confident about. I'm sorry, I don't. I think the starting pitching has been very, very good. I think it'll be good overall. Do I think the relievers are that good? No, I don't. I don't trust them. The Yanks are playing better baseball than they were, say, in August, but there's still some issues here. But they're better than this team. And this team is obviously damaged right now. But Toronto did what it had to do here. It had to win game 1, and it did. So if they can go out tomorrow and get a great performance, hey, they're in the driver's seat. But they're not in the driver's seat until they leave Toronto tomorrow with a victory. Yankees come back to Yankee Stadium 1-1. They're in fine shape. And I expect that to be the case. The biggest issue I would have right now is Weaver. Because the Yankees, they figured on Weaver to be a mainstay for them in the postseason. And now I figure they have to back off Weaver. And anytime you have to back off one of your scheduled guys, see, they have plans for each guy. And when you have to take a guy out of that mix, they have to replace him with somebody and move somebody around. And that changes things for them. See, remember, it's not that long ago. And no one trusted Williams at all. It's not that long ago. And people are treating him now like he's a given. I don't think there are any givens in that bullpen. I mean, you've seen a couple of things that are positive in the postseason. I think Volpe's been a big positive. I thought McMahon's at-bats today were good, and I'll tell you the thing that McMahon brings is he has such a comfort level at third base. He is so ultra confident in his fielding. You don't see guys, except at the highest point of the sport, command their position with the confidence that he commands at third base. He plays third base like he knows there's no play he won't make. And that's rare to see a guy command this position. I mean, that's very rare. And he's playing at that level defensively. He's a hit and miss guy offensively. We know that. And they're not going to let him play against lefties. We know that too. Because Rosario swings the bat well against lefties, but he's not the same fielder. And it was a little weird what he did with the pinch runner because he didn't even give him a chance to steal. He put him in late to begin with, and then he didn't even got a chance to steal. It was kind of a strange situation, but hey, this stuff happens. There was one fleeting moment where they had a chance to win this game, and that was in the sixth inning, and it didn't happen because their big guns didn't come through. And then their pitching didn't hold the fort and give them any more opportunities to do anything. But if you were looking at this objectively, if you were looking at this fairly, then you figured that for this to be a competitive series, Toronto had to win this game, and they did. If the Yankees had won this game, there would have been very little way to look at this as a competitive series, considering the pitching matchups and what the Yankees are going to put on the mound the next 3 days. Now, tomorrow we'll be with you a lot because we'll be with you for football. The Giants playing a game they can win against, and really a game when you think about it, that they need to win. They get a win last week. All right, they get it because of the breakdowns on the offensive line for the Chargers. They get it because their defense makes a couple of big plays, and Dart gave them a jolt of enthusiasm. But if they lose this game going into Philly, Denver, Philly, Niners, who are 4-1, Bears, who are improved, and then Lions and Packers, you're going to still be looking for the head coach's head. They need to, if they win tomorrow and get to 2-3, they will look at this next group of games very differently than they will if they lose to the winless Saints tomorrow. They need to win that game tomorrow. They can win that game. They are the better team. Their pass rush should dominate the game, and their offense can do enough to score a couple of points against a team that is last in the league in allowing passing touchdowns. So they're extremely vulnerable giving up points. And they haven't won a game yet. So this is a winnable game. As for the Jets, I don't know what they're going to do tomorrow. They should be able to take advantage. I would think Hall's going to touch the ball a lot tomorrow. The idea is to take advantage of the Cowboys through the air. So I don't know how much of that they can do with Fields tomorrow. You would think they would, because the Cowboys are incredibly vulnerable to the pass. Cowboys are vulnerable to everything, but they're really vulnerable to the pass. The Cowboys will move the ball on the Jets, though. You know they will. They actually move the ball. They have a tremendous kicker. But it's a game the Jets can win. But if they don't, when are they going to win one? When are they going to win one? So we'll obviously deal with the football teams tomorrow, and then we'll be back for what is a big game, too. And if we're not talking about a Yankee win heading back to Yankee Stadium, then tomorrow the Yankees are in serious trouble. You get into trouble fast in these series. A loss tomorrow with their ace on the mound would be a problem. It's unexpected, but it would be a problem. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are buzzing about the Sanchez story. At this point, I don't get all the pieces. I understand it looks bad for him. I understand he was seriously injured. He's okay. There's a lot of twists and turns to the story right now. It might change again twice before tomorrow, but it's a story that's going to get a lot of play tomorrow morning and tonight. And I don't have all the details yet that I feel comfortable with anyway, because some of the pieces don't add up to me as far as who did what and who was carrying what and why they were there and I need to see more clarity. I need to have more clarity to the situation. But the bottom line is it's ugly no matter how you cut it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then just go look up Mark Sanchez and you'll find all your stuff, all the stuff you need to see. It's always something crazy going on. And if you're a college football fan, Texas losing to Florida and Penn State losing to winless UCLA after losing in overtime last week in their big matchup against Oregon, their 6-3 matchup, and the continued loss that Franklin has to big teams, and then turning around and losing to a winless UCLA team. He is now very much in hot water. And the Manning quarterbacking and the whole foundation of what everyone thought they were going to build this year for that young man has not happened in Texas. Plus, Clemson went in today and had a 35-3 lead midway through the second quarter against Carolina, so that's not going too well either. A lot of football, a lot of sports, a lot of things to talk about tomorrow. Yankees will be on top, but still we have the Giants and the Jets, so a busy Sunday coming your way. We'll talk to you then.